Okay, so today we will be discussing clutch. So after the power is generated from the engine, the brake power from the crankshaft is transmitted to the gearbox. So before being transmitted to the gearbox, it passes through a device called clutch. So you are very familiar with this term. It's a device basically used to engage or disengage the power transmission from the source to the output. In our case, the source is the engine. Basically, the last portion of the engine is a flywheel. So from flywheel to gearbox, whatever power or torque is transmitted, it passes through clutch. Clutch basically comprises of two major components. One is your clutch plate. This one, this is your clutch plate. It has got friction material on both sides, on this side as well as on the other side, friction surface. And the other one is your pressure plate. This exerts pressure on the clutch plate. So engine is always, once you turn on the engine, it is always in running condition. It is always moving. Piston is moving up and down. Your crankshaft is rotating at certain RPM. So even if we stop the vehicle, stop the vehicle means we are stopping the vehicle, but we are not stopping the engine. In such case, the vehicle doesn't move, but the engine is still running. So in such case, again, to disconnect the engine from the wheels, again we are using clutch. All right. So clutch is very essential component which helps in supplying and disconnecting the power from engine to rest of the vehicle. So you are already familiar with clutch. Anyway, just a brief throwback to what you have already studied. Normally, the clutch is always in engaged position. When we press the clutch pedal, like in case of cars, we press using our feet. This is your clutch lever, your clutch pedal. When we press, it disengages. Just like you can think of the clutch which ladies are using to help bind their hair. When it is in normal condition here, this right side on the bottom, they are engaged. The teeth are in mesh. Similarly, here, when the clutch is in normal position, they are engaged. You see, these two are in contact. These all three surfaces are in contact. But when you press this, or in case of your hair clutch, when you press here, it opens up. It is disengaged. Similarly here, when you press this, you can see these are not in contact. This green portion is your pressure plate. This white portion is your clutch plate, and this another this green portion, this is your flywheel. So flywheel, clutch plate, and your pressure plate, they come in contact when we do not do anything. Normally they are always in contact. It means just like your hair clutch, normally they are always engaged in contact, but when we press, it opens up. Similarly, when we press here, it opens up. There is a gap. All right. So this you might have already studied. Similarly, another illustration. No gap. This engaged position. You see this particular spring, diaphragm spring. When you press this, the edges moves back. So due to this movement, there is a small gap. So when this gap is obtained, the power disconnects from flywheel to your clutch plate. So in this way, we can temporarily suspend the power flow from engine to rest of the vehicle. You might have studied positive clutch and friction clutch, the different types of clutch. positive clutch, basic example, joke clutch, dog clutch. What is positive clutch? Where the power transmission or torque transmission is almost 100% efficient. There is no slip. You can just see, in this case, this is disengaged. When it is engaged, when one will move, the other person will also move. There is no chance of slip because their arrangement is in such a way, just like gear teeth. Alright, they cannot slip. But in case of this is an example of friction clutch. Slippage may take place because there is contact only of your plane surface. The movement takes place only by the virtue of friction. If the friction material is good, slip will be less. If the friction material is bad, due to or improper friction material, in such cases, your clutch may occur some slip. But in case of positive clutch, example this one, chances of slip is almost negligible. We can say there is no chance of slip. The shape of the teeth may differ, square shape, triangular shape. Right. So what are the uses? In power tiller, this is used in steering clutch. In power tiller, if you remember, there are two clutch for steering, for taking turn. So whatever clutch is used there, it makes use of such type of clutch, dog clutch, positive clutch. Another example or another application is in gearbox. Within the gearbox, you see these are set of gears. When we need to connect two shafts, this is another independent shaft, this is another shaft. When we connect these two shafts, in between there is some coupling. This is also example of dog clutch, which is an example of positive clutch. Alright, so our basic focus here will be on friction clutch because this is a type of clutch which we regularly use while transmitting power from engine to gearbox. So the arrangement, the working, you might have already studied during your BTech courses. So we can just roughly go through it again. Okay, why we are not using dog clutch or positive clutch and why we are using friction clutch? One basic disadvantage of dog clutch is that frequently we cannot engage and disengage because in order to engage and disengage, the teeth has to perfectly align. Where there is depression, this extension portion should mesh. And where there is depression, the another extension portion from the other component should mesh. So this perfect match and synchronize has to be obtained in order to engage them. If this is not matched, the teeth may break. The life of your clutch may go down. Unnecessary noise. Some mechanical failure may occur. But in case of our friction clutch, you just have to bring two plates together. They do not have any particular position where we can attach them or where we can mesh them. In all the points, one component can mesh with all the points on the other component. So frequent shifting or frequent movement, engaging, disengaging is possible in case of friction clutch. This is the main reason why we are using friction clutch in our day-to-day vehicles. So we have to shift the gear number 1, gear number 2, 3, 4 every now and then. So and also shifting is done at high speed. So it is possible to engage and disengage at very high speeds. So there is the reason we do not use dog clutch in our daily automobiles. But for steering, like we have said, there is some kind of stationary movement. So we can easily engage and disengage. Now, what are some common materials or what are the basic characteristics which is required, desirable characteristics for friction surface? It should have high and uniform coefficient of friction. That means all the parts of the surface should wear uniformly, and in fact, they should have good friction. They should not be affected by moisture and oil, because in engine we are using engine oil, gear oil, so it should not react with them. It should not corrode when they come in contact with water or moisture. Since they are always moving at high speed, the temperature of operation will also be very high. So they should be able to withstand such high temperatures. They should have high heat conductivity. Whatever heat is generated because of friction, they should be able to dissipate it quickly. High resistance to wear and scoring. They should not get damaged fast. Right. Uh, these are some different materials used for friction surface in clutch. This is your clutch plate. The first one on the left hand side is called organic clutch plate. The second one, slightly different design, ceramic type. This material is ceramic. Ceramic, they wear fast, but they can dissipate more heat quickly. So in sports car, racing car, this type of ceramic clutch plates are used because they are operating at very high speed, but they can take care of high temperature easily. But their life is less. They have to be changed frequently. So in such sports, financial constraint is not a big deal. So they can afford to change every now and then, but the performance should not reduce. So their main objective is better performance for. So they're using ceramic type, and this is a very common type, asbestos type. These are asbestos lining, and this is an example of asbestos clutch surface. These springs in between are provided to absorb some shocks. While engaging and disengaging, shock or jerk may take place. So these springs will help in cushioning the effect of shock. Right? It acts like shock absorber. So these are uh, some friction material surface and their range of temperature, their coefficient of friction, and how much pressure they can take. So these are some data which is available in internet. Now, what are the considerations while designing a friction clutch? What are the factors we should consider? First thing is its weight. It should be desirably low weight so that inertial load is less. We should not waste too much energy in rotating or moving the clutch. It should require minimum power or energy to move itself. The clutch should not require any external force to maintain contact. Okay. So that means it should remain in contact by its own. Just like here, without touching also they are remaining in contact. Like here, without touching they are in contact. So just to remain in contact, they should not require some external force. The provision for taking up wear of contact surface must be provided. The clutch should have provision for facilitating repairs. They should have provision for dissipating the heat generated at the contact surface. So these are the basic informations, design considerations we should keep in mind. Now, since our focus is on friction clutch, we have again different types of friction clutch. First one, what we have seen so far is disc type or plate type clutch. Since they are having plates or disc shaped plates, so they are called plate type or disc type friction clutch. Again, within this disc type plate type, there may be single disc or multiple disc. If more than one clutch plate is there, it becomes multiple disc clutch. If there is only one single clutch plate, then it is called single clutch plate. Then we have cone clutches, centrifugal clutches. Cone clutch, here you can see red, the red figures. Cone clutch, you see this is slightly tapered, slightly bent, it's not it, slanting downwards. So one member is going inside another member. So the smaller member in red color, here you can see this member. 3 is your, this number 3 is your friction material, and the surface on which it is mounted is you call your male part, and the other one, this green one, is your female part. So in this way, the male part is placed inside the female part, and the friction occurs on the top, on the periphery only, alright, on the circumference. So in the side view you can see this black color on the top and the black color on the bottom. These are your friction material. Another is centrifugal clutch. Centrifugal clutch is very popular in automatic type vehicle. Like most popular example you might have seen in Scooty nowadays. Scooty is getting very popular. So in such bikes also we are using centrifugal clutch. So what happens in centrifugal clutch? Centrifugal force. When speed of rotation is high, the tendency of these shoes is to expand. So these are your shoes mounted by spring. So when this entire thing moves at very high speed, due to centrifugal force, it will try to expand tangentially. So what happens? When it expands, it comes in contact with the outer drum. So when it comes in contact with the outer drum, then engaging of clutch occurs. Here in the bottom figure again you can see these are your members on which friction material is attached. This orange one is your friction material. When this rotates at very high speed, these members expand. You see on the right hand side, these have expanded, tendency to move outward. So because of this, there is contact. So because of this contact, the casing, the outer part, the drum also moves. So how fast this will rotate, that much good grip it will achieve on this contact surface. So better grip will give you better speed or higher speed. So at first beginning, when we are rotating at very low speed, this will not come in contact with the outer drum. This is your outer drum, white color, and on the inside part of the outer drum there is your friction lining, or in orange color. And inside, this is your driving shaft, and there are three members on which these friction materials are mounted, are attached. So when it is rotating at low speed, there is no contact. When the speed increases slowly, it moves out. And once it comes in contact with the drum, it will try to move the drum along with itself. And when it moves a little bit faster, the contact, the strength of contact increases. So because of increase in this contact, a proper grip is achieved, a better grip, and thereafter the drum also moves along with it. So faster is the input shaft, the faster will be your output shaft as well. Alright, so this is the principle how centrifugal clutch works. So today we will be seeing basically this single disc or plate clutch, which you have seen multiple times how it is operated. They have this pressure plate, clutch plate, some release bearing, Sometimes they have this the diaphragm spring. So this you have already studied several times. This is just the description of the clutch plate and how it works. Single plate clutch. Again, multiple disc clutch is also working on the same principle. Only thing is the number of clutch plate is more. Alright. So when we are required to transmit more torque, we need more friction surface. So in order to increase the friction surface, we need large area. So sometimes large area is not available within the engine compartment or within the vehicle. So what we do, we cannot increase the diameter of the friction surface, because in order to increase the area of friction surface, we need to increase the diameter of friction surface. So since we do not have enough space, we are increasing the number of friction surface. So small clutch plate but large number. So in this way, we are increasing the torque transmitting capacity by increasing the area of friction surface, by increasing the number of friction surface, rather than by increasing the size or the diameter of the friction surface. So this you have already studied